another deadline made meaningless. You know, he hasn't put enough loopholes into the law already. The administration is now resorting to an honor system to enforce it. The hell is this, a joke?
House Speaker John Boehner expressing frustration over the latest healthcare law extension aimed at helping people who are completing the application process. But the extension of the March 31st deadline also has the insurance industry frustrated as well. WSJ's Louise Radnofsky joins us to explain. Louise, thanks for being here. Two days in a row, a lot of people are frustrated. First it was the website. The politicians are frustrated, and now the insurance company. What's their problem? People signing up will be good, right?
Well, there's been a lot of news, and the insurance companies do think that people signing up will be good. They just really want to have a tightly defined period of time in which they can do it, because the concern is that since they're no longer able to rate people based on their medical condition, people could now conceivably, if we're healthy, wait until they get sick to sign up. So they don't really like the laxness with which the definitions of people who are still in line, who'll be given more time to sign up, have been defined. And they really also don't really like the way in which complex cases has got some room for wiggling around.
There is a lot of room for wiggling around in this. I mean, they must have known this back a while back, though, that things were not being rolled out as originally had been planned, and the enthusiasm for signing up hasn't really been there either. This can't have been news for them. Does this mean that it's going to be very hard for them to price next year's insurance coverage?
That part is definitely among their biggest worries, and that's more because of the timing than anything else. They've been saying for the last 6 months that every change has introduced an element of uncertainty that makes it harder to price for next year. That said, they are running up right now against a deadline for pricing for next year, and they had hoped that they would know the majority of people who were in, barring some special exceptions, and now it seems like after March 31st they could still be seeing new customers sign up, and that's certainly going to make things a little more complicated.
And the people who can sign up after March 31st include people who've had a divorce or lost their job, and they have a certain window to get in, right? It's about 60 days.
Right. There's two types of people. There are people who are in line on March 31st who are just going to be given a certain number of days or a week. It's not entirely clear how long to finish the job. It's also not clear what the definition of being in line even means. But for complex cases, they can sign up within 60 days of an event that is deemed to have been a special life period, essentially. So if you had a divorce, you have from 60 days from that, if it affected your insurance coverage, to go and get insurance. Equally, if you had an error message on the website now, that is also the kind of special event that would give you an extra 60 days grace, and it's not entirely clear when the clock starts ticking on that.
And the error message, you just say, hey, I got an error message, and then it's fine. You got like, oh, fine, that's fine. I'll just keep getting error messages until I get sick. Is that the problem?
Well, the level of documentation that's required is unclear for a bunch of things. There's generally a principle of self-attestation. Federal government says that in their experience, people don't lie on federal forms and are generally truthful. There is some level of documentation that's going to be required for people who want to cite technical problems or being in line for not having got coverage before March 31st for the purposes of avoiding the penalty. This is a really big deal because obviously the penalty does apply to anybody who doesn't have insurance after March 31st. Trying to get insurance on March 31st is now the new standard for that in some ways.
Okay, thank you for continuing to come on the show every day. Thank you very much, Louise Radnofsky of the Wall Street Journal.